Hey everybody, this is Dr. Swanson coming to you on video today to talk to you about topic area 3 in the PR writing class. Just a couple of things I want you to keep in mind as we go through this topic area. You may be asking yourself, strategic writing and advertising, why are we doing that in a PR writing class? Good question. We are doing this in a PR writing class because all forms of communication work together these days. That's called integrated marketing communication. Advertising people write PR copy, PR people write advertising copy, salespeople get involved in communication, marketing people get involved in communication. There's promotion, publicity, all these different elements. It's all integrated. That's the reality of the workplace today. And so you guys, even though you have a PR concentration, it's important for you to understand these different components of communications. You touched on this a little bit in your COMM 101 course, if you took it here, or your Intro to Writing course, if you took it at a community college. All the different functions of communication work together. So in COMM 101 or its equivalent, you learned a little bit about journalism, a little bit about advertising, a little bit about PR, and you learned the similarities and differences of all of these. Likewise, in your COMM 361 Public Relations Principles course, you learned about how public relations is similar to and different from advertising and journalism and marketing and promotions and publicity and all those different forms of communication. So all of that is important, and all of that is the real world. And this class is very much preparing you for the real world where, yeah, you'll write some PR copy, but you'll also write copy that's more advertising oriented. In other words, it's more targeted at getting consumers to think or do something. That's really the end point for advertising. It's consumer driven, whereas public relations is more about establishing a climate in which advertisers can do business. So in this topic area, as in all the topic areas, make sure that you read the topic outline because it's really important. That gives you my idea of where things are going here. And since I'm shooting this on Zoom here, I'm going to show you something. We're going to go over here and we're going to do the share screen. You've undoubtedly seen this 1,000 times in different classes, the shared screen. Here we are, topic 3, introductory video. This is where the video is going to go. Make sure you pay attention to the learning outcomes and study guides in all of these areas. They're really important. That's more detail of how to navigate your way through all this information. First item I have here at the top, transmedia storytelling. This is what I'm talking about. This is integrated marketing communication. This is what it's all about. So as a PR writer, you're learning to write in a variety of different ways, targeting audiences and publics in different but very similar ways. Little pause here for a moment. Most of you are PR people. You are not earning a degree in public relations. I hate to disappoint you. You are earning a degree in communications. You have a concentration in public relations, or a concentration in advertising, or a concentration in entertainment and tourism. But the degree is communications because we are graduating undergraduates with a single degree to send you out into the world to be competent communicators. Your diploma won't even say public relations on it. True. And so that's why the electronic portfolio of materials is so important, so that you can show people what you know how to do. Anyway, transmedia storytelling. This is the big deal here. ROI, return on investment. ROI takes on a completely different kind of focus in advertising because in public relations, ROI is just return on the investment of the counseling and the guidance that you have received, you as a client. But in advertising, we can't spend more money communicating about the products than the products return in terms of sales. So ROI is really important. So spend some time with ROI. Burberry, authentic branding. You know, advertising is about branding, as is public relations, but advertising is about branding of a product or a service so that people can viscerally, emotionally identify with it. So give a lot of thought to branding. Think about branding in terms of you. When you get your undergraduate degree from Cal State Fullerton, when you have earned that degree, we will be graduating 800 other people with the same degree. We graduate about 800 undergraduates every year. What makes you stand out? What makes you different? That's the branding of you. So you should identify what is it about you that makes you stand out and be different. Dramatic surprise on a quiet square. This is just fun. This is fun to watch. Wouldn't you have loved to have been involved in the production of this? This is really cool. So, but this is what advertising does. It brings people into the story so that you feel like you're part of the story. You want to be involved. You want to buy the product or the service. You want a brand. You want that brand associated with you. This is what advertising does. And then Tom Burrell, advertising genius. Why is the guy a genius? I'll tell you. The guy was active, most active in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. That's when Tom Burrell was really working in the advertising business. Um, Tom Burrell, and these are his words, he realized black people were not just darker white people. That's how he said it. And advertisers in the 1960s were not targeting black audiences. As Tom says, they were treating black people just like darker white people. No, 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 no. That's not the right approach. So Tom Burrell came on the scene and he said, hey, I'm going to create some campaigns that really identify with black people and black people identify with them. Some of his best work early on was for McDonald's. He showed black people McDonald's was a place for them to come and eat and enjoy life and have a great experience, but very simple, simple concepts, simple ads. And he showed black audiences that this is this is their world too. And so that's why he's one of the great communicators in the advertising industry. So watch this little video as he talks about it. It shows some clips from some of his campaigns. He was a genius. And he was a genius not because his ideas were complicated. He was a genius because his ideas were simple and nobody had thought of them before. And then last down here, make sure you look at winning pitch, lousy pitch, since pitch is the pitch is some of what we're doing this week. Okay, stop the share. Come back to me. All right. So the assignments this week: pitch letter, public service announcement, the message plan. The team assignment is the message plan. All of these will get you involved in advertising related concepts. But let me pass along some ideas here real quick while we're doing this. Pitch letter. In some ways, a pitch letter is very similar to the news release. There are some similarities between those two. And you could also throw the PSA into that. But one important similarity is, are you writing them directly for the audiences? No, you're not. The pitch letter, the news release, the PSA, who you're really writing to is the gatekeeper, because you've got to convince the media gatekeeper this is good stuff before it gets used. So the news release, the pitch, the PSA, they have to go through the gatekeeper. So you got to think about the gatekeeper. You got to think about what can you do to make that person's job easier? What can you send them that they will really appreciate and enjoy and want to pass on to the members of their audiences? So kind of keep that in mind. You're not writing a news release or a pitch letter or a PSA directly to members of the audience. That's not what it's all about. So understand those distinctions. All of that is part of being strategic in your writing, knowing who you're writing to, what they need to know, what's going to persuade them, and how to appropriately frame the message. You want to make the gatekeeper's job easier. That's the bottom line. Make sure you spend a lot of time on editing and proofreading. It's so important. We're almost halfway through the semester now. I'm still seeing misspellings and typos in assignments. That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. I said at the beginning of the semester, I don't expect perfection, but at the same time, if you're generating one page of copy and it's got 5 spelling errors in it, that's not acceptable. You can catch those. There are tools at your disposal to do that. So please use those tools. Please see if you can get other people to proofread your work before you turn it in. Your mom, your brother, your sister, your roommate, your significant other, members of your team, I don't care, somebody, get other people's eyes to look at that copy, because they will look at it conceptually and tell you if it makes sense. They don't even have to know anything about the assignment. Just go, hey, mom, read this. What do you think? And she'll read it and she'll say, I don't understand this first paragraph. What are you trying to get at? So that concept feedback is important. And then the specific feedback, give it to your roommate. Let the roommate read it. Roommate looks and goes, oh, wait, you spelled the same word 2 different ways. Why'd you do that? Oops, that's a mistake. You didn't see it, but they caught it. So the proofreading and editing is really important. Last thing I want to say here in this video for this topic area is practice. Um, great writing is not a destination. Great writing is not a destination you're trying to get to here. Writing is not a destination. Writing is the journey. And you're beginning the journey to be a really great writer. And it takes time and it takes practice. Um, I had my first published item back when I was 18 years old. That was a lot of years ago, folks. That was a lot of years ago. That was 41 years ago. I've been writing ever since. I'm getting better. I'm getting better all the time. But still, I look back at stuff I wrote 3, 5, 10 years ago. I look at it and I go, ooh, that's not any good. I can do better than that today. So writing is a practice, not a destination. And I want you to approach it that way. One of the best ways to practice is to spend a lot of time reading. If you read other people's writing, you'll see what you like and what you don't like. It'll help you understand your personal brand. So reading is a big part of that practice. There's just no way to escape the need for reading in our world. But if you take time and invest time in reading that you don't have to do, but reading to learn about how to be a better writer, that is time very well spent. And so I thank you for doing that. Last but not least, think of all the people in our world who are really great, the celebrities and entertainers and people we see who are really great. How did they become great? They didn't become great by not practicing. They became great because they did practice. So, like example, Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is to your generation what Madonna was to my generation. Lady Gaga is probably the one person who makes Madonna go, "Oh God, I hate her," because Lady Gaga has taken Madonna's place. And Lady Gaga does great stuff. She jumped off the roof. Did you see her jump off the roof of the stadium during the Super Bowl? Okay. She didn't really jump off the roof. That was a camera trick and an editing trick, but still, she came down on the wire. So she did that. Academy Awards a couple of years ago, she and Bradley Cooper got together. They sang that song, La 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 in the Shallow, La 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 La. Yeah. Okay. Practice? Did they practice? Ooh. They practiced probably thousands of hours for the movie and for the Academy Awards and for every other thing they did. I mean, practice, practice, practice. Lady Gaga is practicing all the time. She's listening to music all the time. I guarantee you, because she wants to get better. She's really, really, really exceptional, and yet she wants to get better. And so we all have to practice if we want to get better, and we want to watch what other people are doing, not to copy them, but to learn from them. So invest a lot of time in your practice and your watching in this class, and the writing will come more naturally to you. It will feel better, and you'll feel better about it. So, and last but not least, I want to add that if you have any questions, I'm here to help you. I haven't gotten very many questions in the class this semester, and I know it's not because that there aren't questions out there. I know you've got questions. Please ask. Please put them in the Q&A form, because I really do want to help you, and I want to help you become the best writer you can possibly be. So thank you very much for your time and attention. On to topic 3.